the Kraken, and Cthulhu, two ancient beings of old. The Greek and Norse history, or myth, that surrounds these ancient beings of old is very interesting as we look to gain more information and knowledge of a world long forgotten through the ages of time. Hello, Applebrooks. Let me turn this to me. You know, I heard of the Kraken before. I've heard of that, but I really never had heard of the Cthulhu until, was it the day before yesterday? But the Kraken, yeah. The Kraken's been around a lot longer, that word. But if you play Lovecraft and stuff, or you read the books, which I never heard of them, growing up, or even as a young adult, or even until probably, I don't know, a few years ago, I lived a sheltered life. I did. There is a lot of information with them, a lot of history that is hidden, a lot of what they call myth. It's like in the Lord of the Rings. History became legend. Legend became myth. And then for 2,500 of years, the ring dropped out of, you know how the story goes, you all. Same with these. It drops out of sight, out of mind. And if there were any books that were written from long ago, written documentation, it was destroyed, except for a few priceless, things that were not destroyed, you all. I do want to look a little bit more in here. Hello, Michelle. Welcome, everybody. That's right. History became myth. I don't know where we'll go with this. I don't know how far we'll go, but we're going to go somewhere. And I'm going to, like before, I'll put the links down in one of these sticky notes. I'll document the links. And then at the end of the video, I will put all of the reference links in the description of the video. That way you can go and look at them too, you all. So Cthulhu is purported to have, the great big claws like a human-like body at the top and great big gigantic wings. Massive wings. And the Kraken's big tentacle-like creature. We're going to look into it. That's all I'm going to say. I hope you can hear me. Yeah, because we're going to do it. We're going to do it. So let's take over here, you all. Let's look at some of these images, a little of the Kraken and stuff. There was a lot of strange things. Let me try to get this stuff off of here. No, what? How am I going to get this off of there? Don't show this again, you all. Yeah, the things that pop up on my computer, I don't like it. Right here, the Kraken. Look at some of these. Scientists have made a bold new discovery. So this is the image that I got of the Kraken. Look at this one right here. The Kraken. The Norse legend or recently discovered creature from the Scoopy web. Let's look at this, because look at this image right here. Isn't that quite interesting? It depicts the Kraken as being underneath this island. Tentacles have sharp teeth, sharp hooks to grip the prey and pull them underwater. This is a whale. They are the Kraken's natural prey. The Kraken has poisonous alien-like tentacles. They kind of look like the ones from the sun, like the filament tentacles that protect babies from predators or something from predators. Something here to, I don't know. This, just think, we don't do cursive anymore. Right there, wildlife on there. So I want to click into this one, you all, since I did look into it and read it. It's very short, but we need all the information we can get You may say, Gina, honey, you're acting as if this is real. No, I'm not acting. I'm not acting. I'm not. Let's read this. The Kraken, the Norse legend or recently discovered creature. 4 years ago, this is what I find very interesting. 4 years ago seemed to be a dramatic shift on Earth. 4 years ago, a little over 4 years ago, a dramatic shift took place, even in the spiritual realm. I know you felt it. I felt it. It's like we had stepped into a different world and stuff like that. Everything just got crazy, you all. It did. It got so crazy. But let's look at this, you all. The Kraken. Okay, so this is 0 comments. It's a 3-minute read. I don't want to take up I don't want to take up the screen. You can see it. And, you know, there is so many movies, so many books written about these great big gigantic octopuses, monsters of the sea. The Norse were accomplished sailors and navigators, but on their voyages they often encountered things they could not explain, including sea monsters. One such sea monster was the Kraken. It became firmly placed in Norse mythology because of its immense size and its habit of attacking ships and devouring the sailors. There's good reason to believe that these legends are true, at least in part. If they've got literature out there on them, this is my take on that. If you can find something on the internet, a lot of something about a particular subject, that in itself should tell you that that is real. Otherwise, if it weren't so real, you would not have so many people writing about it. That's my take on these things like that some might want to dismiss as not being real, not being true. If you can find a lot of information throughout the years and stuff, there is some truth to it. Otherwise, it would not even be addressed at all. Let me put it back to this. All right. Good reason it devours sailors. Release the Kraken. The Norse and Viking legends describe the Kraken as a giant tentacled creature with eyes the size of dinner plates. Most accounts compare the Kraken to a squid or an octopus, but not that it is much bigger. It's much bigger. Some stories claim that the tentacles of the Kraken are more than a mile long. Others say that the sea monster, is so large it can be mistaken as an island. For an island, it's that large. It could be mistaken as an island, you all. Early accounts of the monster. The Kraken is the first reference in the 13th century Icelandic work of Orvar Otter, a hero saga. The literature mentions of a sea monster named Hafgufa, which is described similarly to the Kraken. Another text of the time, a scientific journal dated back to 1250, entitled the Konungsskugisia work, describes the Kraken in great detail and even comments on the monster's unique feeding habits. It claims the Kraken would regurgitate the food particles from its mouth into the sea. Fish would be attracted to the food and swarm to feed. The Kraken could then scoop up the school of fish in one gulp. The Kraken appeared in Linnaeus' first taxonomy of living organisms, right here. If you're just tuning in, we're reading a little bit about the Kraken. It appeared, in it. When Swedish botanist and zoologist Carl Linnaeus first undertook the task of classifying all living creatures on Earth, he included the Kraken. Now you have to ask yourself, why would you include a mythical, if it was mythical, why would you include a mythical creature like that? Why? Because it's real. That's why he did it, you all. That's why he did it. In 1735 edition of his Systema Naturae, has an entry for the Kraken, which he categorized as a cephalad, and named Microcosmus marinus. Why would he say microcosmus? Because it reminds me of cosmos. Let's just say microcosmos, of the cosmos. Subsequent printings of the respected scientific book omitted the Kraken entry. They omitted it because they didn't want no one to read about it. They tried to hide it. How can you hide something that enormous from history? Okay, from time itself. You can't. It's too enormous to hide from time itself, okay? Time uncovers everything. Whatever's hidden, time will uncover it, you all. In another work, he noted that the Kraken was a unique monster that inhabits the seas of Norway, but I have not seen this animal right here. Leviathan, there you go. Now we got the Bible. The mythical creature, which is not mythical, which it does speak of Leviathan. I think it's in the book of Job. Let's look up Leviathan. Why would they describe it as Leviathan? Yeah, Leviathan. Let's come over here to Leviathan. Leviathan. I think it's in Job. Yeah, let's Leviathan. Job portrays a singularly awe-inspiring creature, Leviathan. While clearly one of the fierce creatures that God made, it's difficult to establish exactly what Leviathan was. The Bible describes a sharp, tooth-scaled creature whose habitat is the mire and deep waters. Ken Ham's of Answers in Genesis suggested the ferocious Coronosaur as a candidate. Ham, the great dinosaur mystery solved. But verse 22 seems to indicate that Leviathan had a distinct neck. Others suggest that this fire-breathing monster was a land dweller, merely spent much of its time in the water. Perhaps Leviathan was a dinosaur with armor or claws whose sharp stones were employed to destroy ancient weapons. Hey, that reminds me of Smaug in The Lord of the Rings. That's what that reminds me of. I'm going to make sure I click this so we can put this in this little note that we're going to mark every single thing that we went into, you all. Let's read this a little bit more. Maybe we have yet to discover the remains of the Leviathan. Isaiah 27:1 mentions the Leviathan and calls it a crooked or twisted serpent, the dragon of the sea. This brings to mind the way a snake coils up. Perhaps the Leviathan was something like the sea serpent recorded in ancient times. Amos 9:3 tells of a biting serpent that lives at the bottom of the sea. That sounds like Cthulhu. It does. Further support for Leviathan being a sea-dwelling dragon comes from the Ugaritic literature of ancient Mesopotamia. In the story, roughly contemporary with the writings of Job, Baal becomes the head god by defeating the raging seas, or defeating the raging seas, and the Leviathan that lives there, Hyser, the unseen realm. The ancient historian Pliny the Elder recorded some of the huge sea monsters during the days of the Roman Empire. In 58 BC, one particular carcass that seems to be a good candidate for a Leviathan was carried from the seacoast up to be displayed in Rome's largest theater. The skeleton of a monster to which Andromeda in the story was exposed was brought by Marcus Scaurus from the town of Jaffa in Judea and shown at Rome among the rest of the marvels during his aedileship. It was 40 feet long, the height of the ribs exceeding the elephants of India, the spine being 1 foot 6 inches thick. Pliny, the Natural History book, translated 49. This is really interesting. I have not heard all of this before. I've heard about the book of Job, talking about Leviathan, but all these other books and other places in the Bible, I haven't heard about that. But it's good to explore all this stuff because I'm being led to speak about this. It's not that I sit around and think about what am I going to share. No, I can't share it unless my spirit tells me. So there's something to this, you all. So thank you for joining. Skeptics mock at the idea of fire-breathing monsters that mock at the idea that fire-breathing monsters have any basis in reality. But who would have thought that an electric eel or a firefly was real if they had not seen it? An electric eel or a firefly. A few lines of evidence should be considered. Firstly, there is a fairly clear teaching of Scripture. The Bible leaves very little room for a hyperbole or a metaphor interpretation. That means extreme exaggeration, hyperbole. Job 41:19-21 says of Leviathan that out of his mouth goes burning lamps, and sparks of fire leap out. Out of his nostrils goes smoke as out of a seething pot or cauldron. His breath kindles coals, and a flame goes out of his mouth. Secondly, there is a matter of historical evidence that multiple societies that were widely separated tell stories of fire-breathing dragons. Why did they all chance upon the dragon, you all? The dragon. Thirdly, we can consider some biological evidence that there is a fire-breathing beetle called the Bombardier Beetle. Hydrogen peroxide and hydroquinone are contained in separate chambers in the beetle's abdomen. Wow. That is wild, you all. Hydrogen peroxide and hydroquinone or quinone in a beetle's abdomen? Wow, that's wild. From where they can be ejected as a catalyst to confront a predator with an explosive mixture reaching 212 degrees Fahrenheit, you all. It's depicted right here with this ant. Fahrenheit. So let me see this. I can't look at the comments because I get distracted. Lastly, there is some paleontological evidence that a skull arrangement might have accommodated fire breathing. In his delightful book, Dinosaurs by Design, Duane Gish discusses how the hadrosaur nostril cavity could easily have connected the chemical. I'm going to have to get rid of the comments. I'm going to have to not look at my phone. It's too distracting. I'm not going to look at it at all, so thank you for your comments. So by this Dinosaurs by Design, Duane Gish discusses how the hadrosaur nasal cavity could easily have connected the chemical reservoirs in the hollow, horny crest. There are 4 separate passages in the crest, 2 running up from the nostrils and 2 running down toward the throat. The Old English word niesings in Job 41:18 denotes a voluntary sneeze. Perhaps Leviathan used his ability as a defensive weapon, just like the beetles. No wonder God uses him to make the point in verse 10, none is so fierce that dare steer him up. Who then is able to stand before me? This helps us understand God's purpose in creating such huge, fearsome reptilian monsters. We would be terrified to have a close encounter with them. Do we realize that we will have a close encounter with the Creator? Each of us will give an account according to our God in Hebrews. Okay, so you all, this is this. And you may not be a person who adheres to any type of religion, reads the Bible or anything like that, but the mere point that this is giving more documentation, not just in the Bible, the books of the Bible, but in other books about things that really make you go, are you serious? Like that beetle, you all, hydrogen peroxide, hydroquinone in the beetle. And these, the Unseen Realm, natural history book, the Great Dinosaur Mystery Solved. You all of this is wild. So we're going to click out of this. Well, I'm going to click over here because that's where let me put this link here also, because I put this link and it brought up other links. So I will put this link at the top of this link right here. so as to denote that's the search area that we went that pulled up that particular thing. I just pulled up the first thing that came up and read it, and I'm glad I did because I didn't know all this other stuff I didn't. So we're talking about Leviathan. That's okay. So let me close this tab out. So we got this Leviathan right here. We're back to the Kraken. Wake up the Kraken. That's what it was. Was that what it was titled? The Kraken, the Norse legend. The Kraken. Release the Kraken. The tentacle with this octopus and stuff like that. So where were we at? We were right there and I paused. The Kraken was included on ancient sea maps. Okay, it was included on ancient sea maps. I'm going to have to pause for a moment. I'm going to put this to me. I got to at least be able to see my screen on here, and I don't have to click into the comments. I don't have to look at the comments. I'm just going to just look at the screen because the comments are going to distract my train of thought, and I can't have that. Okay, let me just hide the comments. Okay, I can see me. You all, we're fine. We're good. So we're going to go back over here. The Kraken was included on the sea maps. According to the legend, it was a dangerous sea monster. It could create whirlpools that could sink ships. It could also lure in sailors who mistake its great size for an island. But most of the Kraken attack stories are eerily similar. The giant beast would rapidly ascend from the depths to wrap its monstrous tentacles around a ship, pulling it under the waves where it could devour the sailors. Numerous drawings and etchings still exist showing a Kraken attacking a vessel like this, you all. We've seen it. You've seen it in the Pirates of the Caribbean and stuff. Kraken legends served as cautionary tales. In many cases, the myths and legends surrounding the Kraken serve as cautionary tales for sailors in the 15th and 16th centuries. The oceans were a fearsome, inhospitable place filled with the unknown. Stories about sea monsters were intended to keep the cowards on dry land and keep the seasoned seamen alert and vigilant while on the water. The Kraken was a reminder to men that they are intruders into the world of marine monsters and that they should tread lightly. This is, yeah. So let's look at this. Are the Krakens real? Let me just say, I hope you all are enjoying this because I am enjoying learning all about it myself. I am. I find it very interesting what was written about long ago and how we still have some access to it because time did not hide it. Time allowed it to still be seen and spoken about. All of it, you all. It's really exciting to me also, as well as it is to a lot of people. Based on ancient descriptions of the Kraken, most biologists believe that what ancient sailors were describing were giant squids, a member of the squid and octopus family. Giant squids are an elusive deep ocean animal that can grow as long as 45 feet in length. For such a large animal, researchers know very little about the giant squid. Only a few carcasses have washed up ashore for scientists to study. It seems that the giant squid, if really is the fabled Kraken, became much shyer and more of an introvert since the days of the Viking sailing expeditions. The animal is rarely seen and even more rarely photographed. The first photograph of a live squid in the ocean was snapped by Japanese scientists in 2004. The first video of a giant squid was filmed in 2012. So what if they're trying to say that this giant squid became an introvert, more shyer and more of an introvert in the days of the Viking sailing expedition. It's rarely seen or even more rarely photographed because you're suppressing it. You don't want the people to know about it. And if it is truly down at the depths with the Cthulhu in that area that you call Point Nemo, 1,000 miles in any direction from landmass or something, then there's a reason why nobody's heard about it. And our news is controlled. The media is controlled. Everything is controlled. Except this got out. It did. That's right. Of course, you're not going to let the people know there's some kind of ancient beings of old, ancient creatures that are spoken about in legends and myths, you ain't going to let them see any real world evidence because you want them to just pretend that it doesn't exist. See, that's my take on it too. Let's look at this. This it is. If one monster myth is real, could others be? Could others be real? Ooh, what happened? I pushed the wrong button. Could the others be real, you all? I think they could, and they are. That's what I think. I know it. So let's read what they said. We'll finish this one up. Since it seems likely that science has proven that the Kraken legend is true, that brings up a serious debate among scientists, anthropologists, and cryptozoologists. Could legends of other fantastical beasts and monsters be true? Okay, you all, I got to pause right here. Now, we got the Kraken. You all, we got the Kraken right here. We got the Kraken. Well, now, why did they have to put the Kraken right here and the crypto right here? We have the Kraken stock market, which is a crypto market. Cryptozoologist and the crypto Kraken, you all. Now we got to go to the Kraken. You're just going to have to bear with me, you all. We got to go to the crypto Kraken markets. Oh, my goodness gracious. Crypto Kraken. Come on, we can do it. We can do it. Let's look at this, you all. Look at this. The Bitcoin and cryptocurrency exchange, the crypto markets, the Kraken. Look at the little symbol for the Kraken, like an octopus symbol, you all. Kraken is a crypto. What do you think about that, you all? Kraken, that's the search. We don't have to go whatever. And you know they're going to talk about this, you all. I'm supposed to be putting this in my little thing right here. I'm doing it, you all. We are doing it. We got the crypto, Gina, honey. Yeah, we do. The Bitcoin and crypto, because he had to talk about it, you all. He did. 9 million plus clients, you all. The Kraken. Right there. Let's just touch it. Well, I can't go in it. Well, let's see what it looks like. Looks like it's got tentacles coming out of here, you all, is what it looks like. And it's okay. So we get out of the Kraken. We're not going to the Kraken. I just want you to know they had to mention that, so I had to show it. Let's see an image of the crypto Kraken. You see the images? Let's just put this here too, because I clicked into it. Every single thing that we go through, we want to document every single link, so there will be no where did you find this, show me. I want to see. Here you go, like an octopus. Look at that. Crypto exchange Kraken. Right there you are. Another IPO Kraken coming. Kraken. Crypto Kraken. Cryptozoologist. Crypto Kraken. Kraken. Crypto. Oh my gosh, you all. Something else has just now popped into my mind. Wow. We're going to get it out. I'm going to tell you what popped in my mind. It is the crypt. CRYPT, and then to Kraken. A crypt to, let's say, crypt to awaken the Kraken. Let's say that. A crypt to awaken the Kraken. That's we're looking at that. That's what's entered my mind. Gina, honey, do you have to say everything that enters your mind? Well, if it enters my mind all of a sudden when I'm concentrating, absolutely I will. You want to know what's going through my mind, you all? You do. Get the Kraken. Get Kraken. Look at that, you all. Oh my gosh. Look. Inri's Island for Kraken. Right there, because they said, you know, the Kraken is so large it could be hidden like an island, is what it said. So that's the Kraken. Look at that. It's so big and it's disgusting. They got to show it coming out of people's mouths, and that's disgusting, you all. It's like, what? Wait, what was that? Approval for America's first crypto bank. Great. Kraken was the first bank, you all? Come on now. The first bank? I did not know that. I didn't know that. The first crypto bank, because it was a crypt. Okay, let me put this back to me. We don't want to look at her mouth with that octopus. And by the way, have you ate octopus? It's very, when I was in Monterey, back in, when I was in Monterey, California, 1988 to 89, we went to this restaurant and we had octopus. I wanted to taste the octopus, and it was rubber. No, that was it. You all look at this right here. Kraken. It's all around the world, and you know what this looks like, you all. Look at that. Boom. All around the world. Okay, so that's enough like that. Look. The encrypt. So, okay, we got the Kraken. Okay, I think we've done with the Kraken. We're done with it, you all. Let me get back out of here. So my things here. So we're talking about the Kraken. Let me close out the Kraken completely, because he said the Kraken and a cryptozoologist. So that reminded me of that, you all. But the Kraken. Let me go back here. So we got the Norse legend and code of the Kraken. What's happening here? We want to get out of this. Quit taking so long. Don't you lock up on us, you all. I don't want it to lock up on us. Maybe there's something there that it doesn't want me to go back to see. My computer's been extremely locked up right now. Okay, I got it. I closed it out, you all. So that was the Kraken. Okay, now let's look at Cthulhu. Cthulhu is still calling. That's where I got my image from. Let me put this right here. I want to put the link right here so you can see that also, you all. And people may not want to. Gina, would you? No, I'm going to share the way I want to share. Okay, I am. I'm going to be led by the Spirit. I'm going to share what I'm supposed to share. And I'm doing it on YouTube because I want to do it on YouTube. I could do it anywhere else that I wanted, but this is my main platform. Okay, let me just say this to those who may be thinking, Gina, honey, you need some help. No, listen. I've been on one place. I went on one person's YouTube channel. That's it. I've turned down every single interview to people who have reached out for me for the past 4 years. I don't need to be interviewed. I'm out here in the open. I'm in the open. I am able to interact with people from all walks of life on a one-on-one basis. I don't need an introduction. Okay, I don't. There's nothing more about me that you can pull out of me that I have not already willingly and openly told people from all walks of life. Nothing. All right, nothing. So that's why you won't see me. I hope not, but I don't know the future. You don't see me on other channels and stuff like that. Them trying to interview me, because what is there to interview, you all? I tell you, there's nothing that I don't tell the whole entire world that I would tell somebody else a different story. No. Okay, so that's it. So they're talking about Cthulhu right here. Cthulhu is still calling. So look at all these images right here. Oh my gosh, you all. Right like that. Right like that, you all. Just like that. Cthulhu is a very fearsome looking being. With these tentacles, and you know, it was like the what was that? It was the Pirates of the Caribbean. They had that pirate thing with his ship because he fell in love with a woman or something, is how the story went, I guess, and her heart got broken, or something like that. But I think she freed him or things. Look at that, you all. Look at the gigantic wings with claws. Right there. Okay, there was something else, you all. Let me see. Did I click into something? Let me go. Cthulhu. Let's look at this, you all. I just want to show this one thing right here. This is like one of the things, and we're over here at the deadliestfictionfandom.com wiki Cthulhu is where we're at. We won't be on here much longer. I think we won't. Let me document this right here. So the battle versus the Kraken, the clash of the Titans. Let's read a little bit about this. We've saw it before, you all. You say, Gina, honey, you're reading on wiki. Yes, I think there's more truth in the wiki. I think that there's more truth hidden in the wiki. They got all the good stuff than there is on the internet. Okay, I think it's probably something totally different as all of that, you other. Yeah, I'm reading from it. Cthulhu is like a warrior, god warrior, giants, and 10 more. Alien warriors, fantasy warriors, book warriors, fictional warriors. In his house at Raleigh, dead Cthulhu waits dreaming. It's a ritualistic phrase of Cthulhu's followers. That is not dead, which can eternal lie, and with strange eons, even death may die. One thing I do want to say about Cthulhu and the Kraken, I'll say it after I get through reading this. In the South Pacific, deep under the waves, the ancient city of Raleigh lies, and within its sleep is death, Cthulhu. Okay, Cthulhu, you on. We looked at the location of that ancient city, and it just so happens to be the area where the ISS track goes over that area, at least one part of it. Sometimes the cameras have a disconnect, but it does. It literally goes over that area right there. Older than the earth itself, Cthulhu is a member of the pantheon of gods known as the Great Old Ones. And when properly awakened and guided by his cult of homicidal humans, he will return and awaken his brethren. Cthulhu speaks to humans in nightmares, and his presence and appearance evokes madness and heart attacks and death. Cthulhu is described as a monster of vaguely anthropoid outline, but with an octopus-like head whose face was a mass of feelers, scaly, rubbery-looking body, prodigious claws on hind and forefeet, and long, narrow wings behind. Cthulhu has been described as a mix between a giant human and an octopus, and a dragon. It is depicted as being hundreds of meters tall, with human-looking arms and legs and a pair of rudimentary wings on its back. Cthulhu's head is depicted as similar to the entity of a giant octopus, with an unknown number of tentacles surrounding its supposed mouth. Cthulhu is described as being able to change the shape of its body at will, extending and retracting its limbs and tentacles as it sees fit. As it sees fit, you all. So, the battle versus the Kraken. This is what I wanted to read, this right here. On Olympus, a nervous Zeus stands with his council of Olympian gods. Hades appears from his black mist. My brother, it's time for Cthulhu to pay, Hades says. My child awaits to do your will. Zeus, troubled, sends the other gods away. Turning, he says, release the Kraken. Turning, he says, release the Kraken. Now, we know that power is in the mouth. The tongue has the power of life and death. And with it, we can build people up. We can tear people down. We can heal people. We can kill people. We can cause all kinds of things. People use the mouth, their words to... They bring their words to life, to bring things to life with their voice, with their words, with their energy behind it, you all. All of that. But release the Kraken, you all. I want you to look at this. So, let's see if it pulls up what I think it might pull up. Let me put my live stream over here because I don't want to do it. Yeah, I don't want to do that, you all, but let's look at this. So, release that Kraken, you all. Let's see what it's going to say. I want you to see what it's going to say. Look at this. So let me put this here because this is the search that we did. And I just heard this today. I just realized this today. Look at the Urban Dictionary. To PWN, to kick the AWS of whomever you're releasing the Kraken to, the Kraken on. According to Life Science, it comes from the Clash of the Titans, in which Zeus, the king of the gods, gives the order to release the Kraken. It's becoming cult-like. Release the Kraken. Know your meme. Release the Kraken is a catchphrase, an image based on the whatever. It became a joke. Well, it's no joke, you all. It's not. The phrase "Release the Kraken," November 17th of 2020, appeared on Twitter's trending topic list on Tuesday, collecting nearly 100,000 tweets, mostly conservative and far-right internet personalities. But in this case, you all, we have Zeus himself saying, "Release the Kraken." Release the Kraken, you all. Why is that unfounded conspiracy theory? No, there was somebody else. Well, it's not meant for me to say who else said it. It isn't. Let me just do this. It's not for me to say who else did it at all. It's not. But there was someone who did say that. Release the Kraken in politics. That's all I'm going to say. And I thought, wow, I didn't know that. But we heard it. So, and I saw this on here, and it brought this up. So Cthulhu, right here. Cthulhu, like a shambling mountain, walks through Argos, whose king and queen, worshippers of the old ones, now prepare to sacrifice Andromeda to him. Madness runs amok in the streets. Blood flows through the city like crimson rivers, and bloody handprints coat the palace walls. There's a scripture about blood. Let's see it. Blood as high as the horses' bridles. We can do it. We will do it, you all. Boom. We can do this. I can do this since it's in my mind. I can reference that because it came out of this blood as high, blood up to the horses' bridles. It's in Revelations 14:17 through 20. The sermon shows how amazing prophesied judgment was fulfilled very literally in the Bar Kochba rebellion of AD 132 to 136, or that the bodies were stacked as high as the horses' bridles, or that rivers were colored by the blood of the rivers. Blood of the rivers, you all. Look at that. What does it reference? They were trampled in the wine press outside the city, and the blood flowed out of the press, rising as high as the horses' bridles for a distance of 1,600 stadia, the 1420. And the winepress was trodden outside the city, and the blood flowed from the winepress as high as a horse's bridle. So they associate this, a high reputation commentary, associate this with the great battle of the day of the Lord. The day of the Lord, you all. The flow of the blood. So did I just do that only as a search engine? I think I did, you all. So we're going to go right back to this. If it pops in my mind, I'm going to put it on here. So sorry about that. However, before Cthulhu can grasp the princess, he feels something emerge from the depths. Suddenly, tentacles erupt from the waters. Swirling and hulking mass rises, roaring up at the cephalopod-headed dragon-winged god of dreams and madness. Cthulhu, looking down at it thinks to himself, "Aha, Zeus! Zeus thinks he can overcome me with the beast that overcame the Titans. He is so foolish, For I am no Titan, but an old one. Oh, I could use a monster like this. Cthulhu reaches down to grasp the Kraken. Cthulhu reaches down to grasp the Kraken, emitting a terrible speech that drives the people of Argos to rave and commit mass suicide. Bow to me, my seafaring brother, says Cthulhu. The Kraken grasps Cthulhu's hand and with all its might tears his mighty limb off. Cthulhu looks at his severed arms. He laughs, and then he grows a new one. He grows a new arm, you all. So we have Cthulhu and Kraken, and Cthulhu and Kraken, and they're battling now because Zeus said, release the Kraken. The leader of the gods says, release the Kraken. So that's what he's doing. We'll come back over here. So he says, no need for that, my little one, Cthulhu says. You will belong to me now. I have use for you. So the Kraken, in a rage, slashes Cthulhu's belly and jams its tentacles into his belly. Cthulhu staggers from the attack. He watches as the Kraken opens him up and enters its belly. Cthulhu, feeling himself about to die, he calls forth his full power, you all, to distort minds, to defeat the Kraken. He knows that he is not strong enough now to defeat it, so he must attack where the beast is the most vulnerable, the mind. The Kraken finds himself in a sickening, chaotic green mist, the bowels of Cthulhu. He slashes about, causing lightning to appear with each slash. Yet the mist enters its lungs, soaking into its brain, dwelling within its soul. Cthulhu fights to stay alive. It communicates in ancient tongues that would drive the gods mad. The Kraken becomes so wild with the mental assaults that it begins to dig out its own eyes. No, my son, Cthulhu says, mimicking Hades' voice. No, my son, I need you at full strength so that you can slay the gods alongside me, so that you can help herald the arrival of Yog-Sothoth, Azathoth, and the older ones. Join with me now. So Cthulhu, looking like a cross between a loose skin and a hell green cloud, falls into the bay of Argos, breathingly heavily. He is near death, but not too near. As he reforms his body and raises his tentacles, they touch the tentacles of the Kraken, whose eyes now glow bright green. Good, my pupil, Cthulhu says. When using his powers, they both recover and they strengthen the Kraken. And he says, now go to Olympus and slay the enemies of the old ones. The Kraken, unhurt but unfathomably mad, he roars wildly, heading toward the shore, heading towards the mountain of Zeus. They say Cthulhu won, but the Kraken and Cthulhu join as one, and he calls him his son. And he's telling him, you need to go and destroy the other gods. And he wants him beside him so he can help herald the arrival of Yog-Sothoth, Azathoth, or whoever they are. I don't know who Yog-Sothoth is, or Thothoth. I really have no idea. I am going to copy it. I'm just going to take a brief look, you all. Wait right here. Let me see if I can come up here and let's see who this Yog-Sothoth is. I've never heard of it. Let's just look at the image. Okay. H.P. Lovecraft fandom. Let me put the link here for you all. I've not heard of it, and I'm learning as I go. That's The best part about life, you learn as you go. It's all about the journey, you all. So Yog-Sothoth knows the gate. Yog-Sothoth is the gate. It is the key and guardian of the gate. Past, present, future. All are one in Yog-Sothoth. He knows where the old ones broke through of old, and where they shall break through again. He knows where they have trod earth's fields, and where they still tread them, and why no one can behold them as they tread. Yog-Sothoth. It's a gate. Yog-Sothoth is the gate. Let me see something. Let me see something, you all. It's just do it anyhow, you all. No, I want to do CERN and log. Is that who it was? CERN and I've already forgot who we're looking at. Oh, Yog-Sothoth. Let me do this. Let me see if that brings anything up, you all. And I want to put it right here. CERN and Yog-Sothoth. No, CERN and CERN. No, this is not doing me right. I don't know who it is. I can't get this on here. Yog-Sothoth. Let's see what it brings. Nothing. Okay, we ain't got nothing, so that's good. We couldn't trace it back to CERN, y'all. That's really good. Okay, but Yog-Sothoth is that type of entity. Let's see where we were at, you all. I want to see who Azathoth is. Is what I want to do. I want to go there and type in Azathoth so we can see what that is. Okay, we looked at them yesterday is what we did. And I'm just going to document this one also, you all. It's good to have everything documented is what it's good for, you all. Let's look at this. So Azathoth is a deity. In the Cthulhu mythos and dream cycle stories of Lovecraft, he is the ruler of the outer gods. Outer gods. This looks like a planet right here, like Saturn or something. This looks like the cosmos. It does. It looks like the cosmos or something. There are no images, I don't think. Let me see. Well, there's some images. They all look like an octopus. They kind of do. This right here kind of looks like some of the images of NASA. It does. It looks like some of the images of NASA. And I shouldn't say that, but it does if you've looked at them, because it has like things like that in it. Let me see something. Yeah, it looks like some of these images. It does. Let me put this in here because I went to it. Okay, we got him out of there. That's what that looks like. So we've got him, you all. We do. Just one more. Well, no, there is no more. Yog-Sothoth and Azathoth. So we've got them. We've got them right there. So, yeah, this is what it was. Look at this, you all. So I'm going to put the search engine in here. Look at this. The meaning of this thing, release the Kraken. The king of the gods give the orders. Release the Kraken, you all. Let me put this link right here, because I wasn't going to say it, and that's all I'm going to say about it. But we know that There's something going on. Let me close this out right here. We're back to them. We're back to here, and we're back to square one, you all. We are the Kraken, Cthulhu, both sea-like entities, very powerful ones of old. And I think I read Andromeda was sacrificed to... Was Andromeda sacrificed to Cthulhu? Let's see that again, because I thought I read that. Andromeda. Andromeda, sacrificed to... Here we go. You know, we have like the Andromeda. Let me just do this, you all. I'm going to put this link here because this probably be about the last link, because that was like struck into my mind. They want us to think that it is like a physical being, but it really could be. In Greek mythology, Andromeda is the daughter of the king of Ethiopia. That would be Ethiopia. Would it not be Ethiopia? Why they say Ethiopia? Cepheus and his wife Cassiopeia, when Cassiopeia beasts that she is more beautiful than the Nereids, Poseidon sends the sea monster Cetus to ravage the coast of Ethiopia as divine. Let's see who the children are. You can see them right there. Look, Electron. Look at all these. Gorgophon, Mustros, Sirenus, Perses, Hylas. Let's see if we can get this. So, Andromeda, according to Britannica, in Greek mythology, was a beautiful daughter of King Cepheus, a queen of Joppa called Ethiopia, and the wife of Perseus. So really, Ethiopia has a very rich history that has been hidden from the world, have been kept away. They don't want nobody to know about it. So she is offended. She offended the Nereids by boasting that Andromeda was more beautiful than they. So in revenge, Poseidon sent a sea monster to devastate the kingdom. Since only Andromeda's sacrifice would appease the gods, she was chained to a rock. That is horrible. Chained to a rock. Was Andromeda sacrificed to a serpent? Let's do this. I wanna just let's look at this, you all. Sacrificed to a serpent. You can read further into that. I'm not going to. Why was she changed by the gods? Who was sent to do it? Who was doing it? So you can see all of this right here. Elizabeth McGrath, in her article, The Black Andromeda, discussed the tradition as promoted by the influential Roman old poet of Andromeda being a dark-skinned woman of either Ethiopian or Indian origin, who was sacrificed to the Kraken. To cool his anger, Cassiopeia chained her daughter to a rock on the beach and sacrificed to the sea monster Cetus, also known as the Kraken. Andromeda was saved at the last minute by her hero and love interest Perseus, who killed Cetus by showing him the severed head of Medusa and thus turned him to stone. Turned him to stone, you all. So, great. She didn't have to die. That's wonderful. Yeah. That's awful. But she didn't die. I like a good ending to the story. I really do. She didn't have to die. And that's wonderful, you all. She didn't. That's right. So, this is wild. This Kraken is wild. Cthulhu is wild. It's all wild, you all. Thank you for that super chat, you all. Thank you, because I do have super chat. I just never mention it. I don't. But thank you all so very much. Let me put this in the live chat. I'm about done, you all. That's right, you all. I am about done. You all, can we give this video a thumbs up? That would be great. Thumbs up. That's great. If you haven't subscribed, you might want to subscribe. I don't know what the future holds, but you never know what I'm going to be given to share where I'm led. I never know either, but that's all right, you all. It is. Thank you all. Thank you, Susan Honey. Thank you, Apple Brooks. Yeah, that's right. So does the Kraken exist? Does the Cthulhu exist? Yes. I don't think they're just midget. They're not. They're not myths. Okay, they're not myths. They are a legend. There's so much written about them. They're the ancient old ones. And to have so much come up recently, and the first part of this video, if you caught the oopsie, you all, we got to look at the screen. If you caught the latter part of this video, I got to put in all of these places that we went to. You all just watch me do it, because I do not want you to think, well, she didn't do it. Oh, I'm going to do it. I am. You always let me do it. Right here. We're going to scroll down, and these are all the places that we went to in this video for your reference. Right here. We're going to write it in your references. References. Every single link, 99.9% of the links we went to, there you go. You can go there and you can check it out yourself. Read it yourself, because you might want to go back and read it. You might. That's right, you all. That's right. So, oh yeah, I was going to say, one of the links on here, it gives all the biblical scriptures of Leviathan, because Leviathan is also mentioned. Leviathan is mentioned. Let me put something right here. Lovecraft and Leviathan. Boom, I got it. I got it, you all. I am going to go. I think I pushed that button, but I did not. You got massive hailstorms in Spain. Wow. Okay, Fiametta, you are so very welcome. I would want to know. Because I like to research when I got the time. Morning seems good for me. That's right. So let me put this back to me. You all, thank you so much. And with that being said, let me put it back to me. Hello, wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello. From my heart to yours, love you. Have a wonderful rest of your day, you all. And yeah, there's a history of these two together. There's so much written about, so much history that we need to brush up on, you all, because I'm sure that the wisdom is there, the knowledge is there. We just got to tap into it. Thank you, moderators. Love you.